Hi, my name is Goncalo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SyndicateRoom. Today, I'm going to describe how pre-emption can affect your outcome as a part of your investment. I'm going to try to explain it in a diagram, and I'm going to overlook some of the details just to make sure that it's clear. But effectively, if you imagine that you have your investment and you invest, say that the crowd invests £1 million on a company that is valued at £4 million. Effectively, what the crowd gets is 25% of the company at the very beginning. So this represents 25%. Now, if the company goes on to do very well, it will need more money to keep on growing, just like companies like Facebook, for example, and Instagram and so on needed. And what that means is that more and more shares get issued every single funding round that exists. And this helps the company growing and becoming much bigger. But what this means is that if you don't have the preemption rights, you don't get the right to follow your money, what is called following your money. And that means you cannot invest the amount required to keep your percentage in the business. This would in turn mean that your 25%, as the number of shares that are issued grow, will go down to 15%, 10%, potentially 5%. And this might be the sort of percentage you end up from 25% at the beginning on a company. Now, what does this mean as a financial return? If you imagine that a company goes on to become really successful and to become a £100 million company when it gets bought out by another company or when it gets listed on a stock exchange, that means that suddenly you had 5% of the 100 million. Which effectively have £5 million out of your investment of £1 million. Now that's a 5x return, which sounds really, really good. If you'd imagine that you'd have invested with preemption rights as you would with SyndicateRoom, that means you would have had the ability to follow your money. And by doing so, you would end up with 25% of the whole company. That means of the 100 million, you would end up with 25 million pounds out of the trade sale. Now, that would be out of the 1 million plus whatever it would take to follow your money. That would give you potentially a 10x to maximum of 25x return, which sounds a lot more attractive than 5x. Now, here's the thing. 5x might sound like a really good return, 5 times your money back. That's not bad at all. However, this is a portfolio approach. Never ever forget that. And that means for every single success, you will have several failures, or you're likely to have several failures. So if you imagine that this company was your success in your portfolio of, say, 10, that would mean that if you assume that the remaining 9, actually you lost all your money on the remaining 9, going back to your 5x return, that means that actually as a portfolio, you would only have 5 million out of an investment, a total investment of 10 million. That means even though this investment here went really well and you've done 5x, actually you are 5 million pounds shorter than what you started with as a portfolio. And that's not good. You don't really want that. However, had you invested with preemption rights and follow your money, and bear in mind that the preemption rights gives you the opportunity to follow your money in the good companies, in the companies that are performing well, in this case, you would have gone out with 25 million. Now, that would more than cover your portfolio, even if you assume that the same 9 would have failed. Unfortunately, you'd have lost money on the same 9. Out of this 10 million, you'd have changed it to 25 million, effectively, potentially up to 2.5x your whole portfolio that as you invested. I hope this drawing has helped you understand a little bit better preemption rights and how important they are, and the massive impact they can have on your financial returns as an online investor or business angel. There are other videos about other terms. Feel free to watch them, to comment on them, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.